We are now officially in the last month until the Nintendo Switch 2 Nintendo Direct, meaning we are 32 days away, and man, it's going to be a long wait. But I have something that will actually make this go a lot smoother. For every single video counting down the last 32 days, I'll be answering the best question that you guys have down below, whether it be about the video topic today, or something about the Switch 2, or something to get us hype for Switch 2, and I'll be picking the best one, so you better make them good. Participate, comment the word hype in all caps before you leave your question, and I'll be picking the best one once again from the entire list. But it's time for the first question of the day. Today's question comes from Dylan Cat, and it states, I think you should start with Mario questions until Mario Day. So here's a Mario question. What thing from your favorite Mario game do you want to be brought back to a new 3D Mario? Now, my favorite Mario game is Super Mario Sunshine, but I'll combine this one with Sunshine and 64 because they both have something that I desperately need to return in the next 3D Mario. Whether it's open world or just open sandbox, whatever it is, it needs to have a hub world. I loved going through Peach's Castle in Mario 64 and Al Delfino in Sunshine and just visiting the residents and doing things around the town, and I don't need the hub world to lead us to each level. For instance, if this next Mario game truly is open world and lets us explore the Mushroom Kingdom at our own leisure, I really just hope that we're able to explore like Toad Town and Peach's Castle as like a home base of operations. That would be really cool, where we can update Mario, you know, kind of give him any upgrades that we need. Now, games like Galaxy and Galaxy 2 definitely had hub worlds, but there just wasn't a lot to explore with those. So remember, if your Switch 2 hype comment wants to be featured, just comment the word hype in all caps followed by your question. Here's one major game that we have yet to sit and discuss about for Switch 2, and that is Splatoon. Splatoon is easily one of Nintendo's biggest franchises now, especially in Japan, but becoming even bigger here in the States as well. Splatoon has 3 installments, 2 that came to Nintendo Switch, so we can expect definitely at least one big Splatoon game coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Now, Splatoon holds a very powerful weight in Nintendo's franchises, considering the fact that it's one, if not the biggest multiplayer online experience that you can have right now with any Nintendo platform. You could argue Mario Kart or maybe even Smash Brothers, but nothing compares to Splatoon, which literally requires you to have an online connection to experience the best that this game has to offer. This is a game that players will be playing for years to come, so Nintendo definitely wants to make sure that this is a huge game for Switch 2 and not a game that we have to wait 2 or 3 years for. So I'm predicting we will see the game sooner than later, but maybe not this year, but I do expect Splatoon 4 to launch within either 2026 or 2027. That will give it around a 3 to 4 year gap since Splatoon 3. But I still am for the idea of having 2 Splatoon games for Nintendo Switch 2, but maybe not in the way that you might be thinking. I think they should really focus on one huge Splatoon game that they can constantly update for years to come and add new things in like seasons, updates, you know, all kinds of stuff to keep people coming back. But the second Splatoon game should maybe be more single player focused and maybe give us a single player adventure that's more fleshed out. I think that's currently my biggest issue with Splatoon, is that the campaign is still just very lackluster in comparison to where I think it should be by now. It's still floating obstacle courses in the sky, and I get it, it's not the main meat of the game, that's for multiplayer, but still, I really would love to see more areas that are actually connected to the ground that we can explore, and like maybe explore terrain outside. You paint up cliffs and find secret caves with secret scrolls in them, or explore ruined cities where we have to climb skyscrapers and stuff. Would be so cool, but instead we're just here in these weird random worlds in the sky completing obstacle courses, killing Octarians. So I mean, if they have to make this a own, you know, separate game, then do that. I think that would be definitely well worth it, and actually giving us tons of more story and lore, because I feel like the world of Splatoon has the potential to have one of the best stories in Nintendo's franchises. If they just fully allow the developers to just go crazy with the story, it would be awesome. And all it could be is like, imagine the story told from the perspective of an Inkling or an Octoling somewhere else in the world and their journey through everything that's happened, adding more lore as well from what they've learned from their part of the world. Would be really cool. But I think there's so much potential for the future of Splatoon and the campaigns. I wouldn't mind a whole single player game and a multiplayer game launching on Switch 2 would be really awesome. But I think Splatoon 4 should be the start of a new trilogy on Switch 2, and this is something that I've talked about a lot, and it's pretty much all but confirmed, I think, from Nintendo. Even Nintendo kind of confirmed it, saying that Splatoon 3 was going to be the end of the current trilogy, and that probably means that we're going to be getting a whole new storyline with new characters, new worlds, and new lore, because once again, I love the idea of maybe giving us a story from Octolings or Inklings from a different region of the world, where maybe their whole situation was completely different than the ones that we've learned about. Maybe the Inklings and Octolings over there have always been buddies and they never were at war. Maybe there was no great turf war between them, or maybe they became friends a lot sooner than the ones that we know. So I don't know, just a new story, maybe even like kind of a soft reboot of the franchise, not changing the core mechanics or anything like that, but just kind of giving us a new story and a new trio of games to work with for Switch 2 and the future consoles. I think Nintendo needs to use the power of the Switch 2 to expand the world and the gameplay as well of Splatoon 4. I feel like we need to have bigger battles this time around. I want to see 5v5s, maybe 6v6s, 10v10 even would be amazing, or maybe they even boil it down to smaller battles that are more, you know, intense and on smaller arenas, like a 2v2 or a 1v1, just different options to play instead of just the 4v4 still, like we've done for the last 3 games. And I think there needs to be a lot more modes, not just one mode added or no modes added like they did in Splatoon 3, and these modes should all be able to be played in both ranked and casual game modes as well. Another game mode that I think needs expanded in an upgrade is Salmon Run. I feel like if it is still Salmon Run, or maybe called something else with different creatures this time around, it needs to be bigger and almost more like we had in Call of Duty Zombies. And I know I can't really compare a game like Call of Duty to Splatoon, but there are a lot of similarities, even if you hate to admit it. There needs to be more of that Call of Duty zombie vibe, you know, being able to unlock new areas, a bigger area to explore, instead of these little tiny islands that we're collecting eggs on. I want to have more lore kind of maybe even tossed into this game mode. Maybe there's multiple maps that we get to explore, or maybe there's some type of progression system. As the more rounds we win, we get to go further and further and explore more and more of the map, and that would give reasons for people to come back and explore this game and be like, dude, I want to see the new area. Like, I haven't ever reached wave 20 or wave 30 to see the area outside of the building or something. Something like that would be awesome to keep people playing Salmon Run, to find out what is left and what they're missing. Splatfests also need a big change, because I still haven't had as much fun as I did with Splatoon 2's Shifty Stations, and they just had nothing. I mean, they would add some little elements like fizzy bombs and stuff, but nothing really spiced up the Splatfest, and I really had no incentive to go play them, unlike with Splatoon 2, where every single Splatfest we had a new special stage with a super fun gimmick on that stage. So please, Nintendo, bring that back, and also bring some of those gimmicks into the actual stages as well, because the stages in Splatoon 3 are really bad. The map design is literally just hallways and straight paths to the other side. Mix it up, make the maps bigger, expand on them, and add some cool little gimmicks to them that makes each map individually fun and a reason to choose, because the maps in Splatoon 3, like I said, they're just not good. You can ask any casual and competitive player and they'll tell you the same thing. Also, give us some more customizable options, like finally allowing us to pick our pants. I mean, we kind of can at the very start of the game, where it allows you to choose from like 6 to 8 basic shorts or pants, but that's really it, and they're all like black, so you can't really customize or change anything. Yeah, just give us a pants store, and they could also do more with the customization, giving a lot more hairstyles and just allowing us to really make our Inkling look like an Inkling version of what we could look like. Maybe changing facial features and stuff would be really cool, instead of everybody having the same head shape and the same head design. That would be awesome. And just like we talked about at the very beginning of the video with Mario, I kind of wish there's like a hub world home for your character, if that makes sense. Kind of like a base of operations where you get to go back and kind of upgrade your character, kind of like your own little house or apartment that you can decorate as well. Instead of just decorating your locker, this time you can decorate your own room, and your own apartment would be so awesome. And you can invite other friends over to look at it, and you can like post pictures of you inside of it and stuff. And they should even have like a little Splatoon social media app within the game. Could you imagine if there's like a Splatstagram or a Splitter? That's like Splatoon Twitter, in case you didn't know, but something like that would be really cool, that you can like actually have your own account. You could follow people on it. That's how you invite friends, on your little Splat phone. Ooh, that's such a good idea, Nintendo. Listen to that. I also would love to have like mini games that we can play with others online. Instead of just turf wars or ranked modes, we can actually like play little mini games. Remember the table turf wars and stuff like that, but more with the actual characters. Like for instance, things that you'd see in the campaign, but we can compete with others against. Like maybe there's a shoot the targets competition, or you know, throwing your bomb in a specific spot competition or something along those lines. Just little things that aren't necessarily the hardcore main series things that we do within the online battles. Just like little mini games and fun little things that we can play with others and game modes that we can set up to play. Just more options for online playability. I also want updates to be a big thing for this next Splatoon. Like I said, if this is going to be the main Splatoon for the entire Switch 2 lifecycle, then it needs to be massive. It needs to have seasons coming back once again, but personally, I also miss just the weekly and bi-weekly updates of small little things they would add to the game, whether it's just one new weapon or, you know, one little new sub or special, something just to keep people invested every single week, every month, and every year for like 3 to 4 years after the game launches would be awesome. And finally, I know I might be the only one that still wants this, but I don't care. I think something like a Battle Royale, which is a Splatoon Battle Royale, would be so perfect. Man, Nintendo's got to see how big the Battle Royale genre was and see, you know, look at Fortnite still on like its 8th year going extremely strong. This is how you keep a game alive for so long. This is how you keep people playing Splatoon, is to have something like this with an ever-changing map with seasons and updates and tons of players jumping down to fight to become #1. Don't worry, there won't be any type of incentive to pay real money for anything like that. There could be a battle pass or something, but it would all be based on in-game currency. And maybe there's a thing where maybe this Battle Royale is free, but if you bought Splatoon 4, you get everything for free, where if you didn't buy Splatoon 4, you have to pay for gear or stuff like that. So it kind of gives people the incentive to, hey, buy Splatoon 4 and you get to actually decorate your character and everything because you get in-game currency for free, where you can actually get this currency maybe from just playing Turf War and stuff, and then actually spending it on new gear or just straight up bringing your gear from Splatoon 4 into this Battle Royale experience, so that way you don't have to spend an extra dime on anything. There is no loot crates, pay to win type of things. It's all based on in-game currency, and I feel like this would be such a great way. Just take all these different maps from Splatoon, slap them together on one giant map, and let everybody jump in, you know, collect their loot and play a Battle Royale experience. It could work. There's a little couple things to fix, but I've made multiple videos about how this could still work. Nintendo, please, this would be probably one of my biggest wishes for the Switch 2, is to have something like this as a huge Fortnite lover, but we're just gonna have to wait and see if Nintendo would ever go with this idea. But I still think it would be a great decision and a great way to keep the online community alive, because I'm telling you right now, I don't think I would ever stop playing Splatoon 4. As somebody who played Splatoon 1 nonstop, 2 and 3 I kind of would eventually get tired after the first couple of months and move on to something else. So I'm hoping that this is what happens, and this would be a great way to at least have something on those empty months. Like when Nintendo doesn't have any main games, hey, they have their Battle Royale update this month instead for their new season or whatever. You could have vehicles you can drive around the map, all types of different subs and specials that you can pick up from chests. Oh my gosh, please Nintendo. I'm sorry. You can tell how passionate I am about Splatoon 4, and I really hope Nintendo just makes it an ultimate experience. But a Battle Royale would definitely do that for me. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I am so excited for Splatoon 4 and the future of the franchise, especially after the current trilogy has now ended, and I can't wait to see exactly where they're going to go with this next game. Whatever it is, I'm sure it will be great, but I think we need to just be patient and let the Splatoon devs cook. Let's not have them rush out something where it's not that many maps day one and we're waiting for updates. Let them cook, let this game marinate. I don't care if it takes until 2028 or even 2029. I just want this game to be fleshed out with tons of things to do and keeping players around for a very long time. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Splatoon and Nintendo as we move closer to the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Only 32 days left. We can make it. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. See you guys.